Here we have what I thought would be a fun project. I've noticed that there is not a lot of motor swap videos on these Edge chassis, Pro X chassis. So I've been learning as I go and decided I would help out whoever wants to have at it too. So we're gonna start with what we got. We started out with a 01 xcf440. When I bought it, it had a 550 fan cooled in it. Long story short, I bought it, I didn't pay attention. Thought it had coolers in it, it didn't, and whatever. So long story short, I bought in coolers. So mind you, this is an 01 xcf440, but as you can see, it is a race chassis, so the Pro X chassis. That's whatever. Someone added that later. The coolers, I had to go on Polaris Parts Island and look and have fun. The coolers are out of a XC Edge. Those fit. All the bolt holes or all the rivet holes are there. Life is good. We did all that. The front cooler, down on the bottom, the edges, the steering stem mounts through the cooler. The Pro X, they do not. There's actually a cavity down in there, and the steering stem goes in front of that, and there's a gap between the cooler and whatever. So that cooler, I actually bought out of a 0304 Pro X 7800, whatever. I think they're all the same. Polaris Parts Island is a good place to go for part numbers and diagrams and all that fun stuff. Really cool. Another guy turned me on to that. That's been very helpful. So then, this here motor, we got out of a 2003 RMK 700, and nothing off of that has been correct for the swap. It's a good donor motor. I rebuilt the top end, split the cases, new seals, and resealed the case. That was kind of damp on the backside. So long story short, they didn't put a Pro X 700 together, Polaris did not, until 03 or 04. So the motor mounts in this are out of a 03 or 04, they're the same. Pro X 700. That mounted right to the bottom of the motor. And all you had to do is on the right side of the motor, there was different holes in the chassis. So I just had to move the one motor mount over. And everything lines up, motor drops in, everything's hunky-dory and fantastic. She's all mounted in. I'm really far, I'm far, but I'm not in this project. Trying to catch you guys up to speed. So long story short, the RMK pipe over there absolutely does not fit. So that's kind of where I'm at now. I've kind of got my hoses the way I'm going to have them. Since it was a fan cooled caliper, does not have coolant through it. So we're kind of routing things a little funny. I still got to trim this hose off. And we're going to make a bracket here for this to mount, so that guy ain't just flopping. And then this is a little close. So we're going to make a tube for him. And then we're having that go up there. The water pump, we're going down underneath the motor, which is not right according to a parts diagram. What I ended up with is I ended up with a hose kit off of a XC700. So like you say, we're kind of piecing this together here as we go. It's turning out for the most part. We're kind of cobbling some things. So on a Pro X, this comes down around and goes down under the motor to the cooler that's at the front of the snowmobile. And then this water pump this elbow that I used comes the other way back here to the reservoir, and there's an elbow to the brake caliper, and then backing around. So I kind of jimmy fucked that, but everything's flowing. It's just going the other direction, which is fine for me. It'll work. So back to the pipe situation. This on Pro X actually shoots down a little, but I thought what I got was one of those, and it's way too far down, and it gets right down to that aluminum down there, and then the pipe does not fit. So this pipe was purchased out of a 0304 Pro X 700 or 800. They're the same. And so now I've had to use this out of the RMK, which is straight, and we've had to trim this bar out. I was originally going to use this with the RMK pipe, but the RMK pipe does not work whatsoever. Completely wrong. So we've gone a different route. We bought this SLP, and I was gonna cut this out completely and put spacers on both sides and then weld it up higher. Just basically 5/8 of an inch and then weld the bar on top. But on this side, I don't want to raise my pipe up any more than I have to. So we're already sitting on him. We raise him up anymore, it's gonna get up into the hood, I think. I mean, I think we got some room, but we're not gonna push it. So now we're gonna weld the bar across here. That's gonna give us a good 5/8 under it. And we're gonna cut these welds off. We're gonna move them so they're directly across, and hopefully life will be good. And I think we're gonna weld a piece under here for that to set on, so it wears on something other than this pipe that I paid good money for, 350 bucks, which is cheap compared to a new one, but as you can see, it's not perfect, but we're gonna make do. But the motor that was in here, and I think the fan cooled 440 that was originally in it, had a pipe like a old early 90s Indy had. You know, it just comes around and then it's on a stand with a straight pipe that goes down and just kind of sits there. So yeah, I had to add, I'm gonna add that bracket in. We're gonna rivet him where he needs to be in that little hole, and then 7 more. I just kind of got him mocked up here with a 2x4. So yeah, we're having fun. I don't know. I wasn't ever gonna make videos on this, but like you say, there's not much for information out there on any of this. I've tried to go on forums and stuff, and I guess maybe I didn't look hard enough, but I have not seen what people did with what and who and where, and so to be continued. Sorry for the mess in the background, but yeah, hopefully it'll help somebody. Thanks.